a 24-year-old female. A few months ago, I was scrolling through my Instagram Explore page. When I did, I stumbled across a photo of a building that looked exactly like my apartment complex. I clicked on the photo and I realized that it was in fact my apartment complex. I looked at the caption, but there wasn't one. The picture only had 10 likes, and the username didn't really make any sense. I clicked on the account out of curiosity. When I did, I saw that the account had a total of 3 photos posted to it. The first was a picture of the apartment complex. The second was a photo of a car, and when I looked closer, I saw that it was my car. It was parked in a parking lot, and the third photo was a picture of my place of work, which was a nearby restaurant where I was a server. Immediately, I was a little weirded out by this. The page only had a handful of followers, and they all seemed to be those people who mass follow one another, or were bots. I thought that it had to be one of my friends playing some sort of joke on me, so I took a screenshot and sent it in a group chat which had some of my friends in it. When I did, they all denied it. This surprised me, and I sent it to literally every friend that I could imagine would do something like this, but they all denied it and said no. Still, I was a little skeptical of them. I went back onto Instagram and messaged the page asking who this was and if it was a joke. I saw almost immediately that the message had been seen by the user. For a while, it said they were typing, but then it went away and they never responded to me. A few days went by, and I remembered to check on the page again. This time I saw that there had been 2 new photos posted. One of them was me at work as I was working, and the other was of my apartment building again, but this time it was zoomed in onto my apartment specifically, and not just the whole building. I knew it wasn't a joke anymore, and it wasn't one of my friends pulling a prank on me. I sent it to my friends again, and they all seemed genuinely concerned for me this time. I tried for a long time to think of who it could possibly be that was running the page, but I really didn't have a guess at all. Another day went by, and at night, as I was getting into bed, I heard the doorknob to my apartment being jiggled as if someone was trying to unlock it. I immediately thought of the page and my mind started racing. Just then, I heard the door unlock. I don't know how it happened, but whoever it was must have picked the lock. My apartment building was old, so I'm honestly not that surprised. I wanted to call the police, but my room was visible from the front door, and my phone was charging on the other side of the room. I realized I would be seen if I got up, so I lay there and pretended to be asleep. I was terrified, but I felt like it was the only thing I could do. I heard footsteps slowly walk into my apartment and over towards my room. The closer they got, the more scared I became. I heard them walk all the way over to me until it felt like they were standing right over me. It was the scaredest I had ever been. I didn't know if I could take it anymore, and I was extremely close to just getting up, but I tried my best to remain natural. Then, I heard the footsteps slowly walk away and out my door. Then my door shut. I couldn't believe it. I was very relieved and slowly got up. I guess that my instincts had paid off. However, I still had no idea who this person was and why they just walked in and then left. I also didn't see their face at all, so I couldn't identify anyone. I waited a few minutes and then got up and grabbed my phone to call the police. They showed up about 20 minutes later. When they did, I showed them everything, and they searched the building. They weren't able to find anything, however, and the next day, there was a new post on the Instagram page. It was of me sleeping in my bed. Now I knew why they had broken into my place. The police came back shortly after that to talk to me once again, and not too long after that, all the photos and the Instagram page were deleted. I thought that with all that had happened, whoever it was would have been found, but I don't believe they ever were. I moved out of my apartment shortly after that, and I now live in a different city, but the whole thing still creeps me out. This story happened a few years back. I was a 19-year-old college girl traveling to New York City for the first time over summer break. I went with 3 of my friends and we stayed in a hotel right in Manhattan. The Second day we were there, we went to Central Park. We walked around quite a bit and posed for several pictures in a few different locations. We went to some other fun places in the city and got back to our hotel later that night. The next morning, we posted our photos on Instagram. It took us a while to find the exact photos that we wanted to post, and when we all finally posted, we started to get lots of Instagram notifications from likes. I got some comments from my friends and lots of likes myself. I was also tagged in my friends' photos that they posted. I was getting lots of notifications, but later in the day, I noticed a new notification that I was tagged in another photo. This was different because my friends had already posted. I clicked on the photo and saw that it was a picture of me. It was the same pose that I was doing in one of my photos, but this was from a different angle. I could tell that it wasn't taken by one of my friends. There had to be a decent number of people out there when we were, so I had no memory of who could have taken the photo. The user that posted the photo didn't have a profile picture, and their name was just a bunch of scrambled letters. I clicked on their profile to see, and they had 0 followers and weren't following anybody either. This was their only post, and the photo had no caption at all. I showed it to my friends, and we all found it creepy. None of them remembered seeing anyone who could have taken the picture. I also didn't know how whoever posted this found my Instagram or knew my name. I got a little bit creeped out from it, but I tried not to let it bother me. But a short time later, I got a message from the user. I opened up Instagram and clicked on the direct messages. They said hello. I responded by asking who the person was. They simply responded by saying they knew who I was and where I was staying. Then they mentioned the name of the hotel I was at. Reading it really freaked me out. Thankfully, we were leaving the next day to go back home, but we still had a night to get through with some creepy person knowing where we were staying. We didn't get much sleep that night at all, if any, but nothing happened out of the ordinary. The next day we left to go back home, and the account didn't message me. Once we got back home, I felt much safer, and I actually forgot about the creepy incident. That is until about a week later, when the account messaged me again. They asked how my home city was and mentioned it by name. I once again got freaked out, but this time I blocked the account. I changed all my settings to private after that. I didn't have any more creepy things happen after, but I sometimes wonder who that person was and why they were messaging me. I've had the Instagram app for years now. I'm not a huge social media guy, and I really don't post often, but I do go on occasionally. About a year ago, I went on Instagram one day and saw that I had a direct message. When I clicked it, I saw that it was from an account that's username was only a bunch of numbers. It seemed a little strange, and their picture was also strange. The message was just a link. Now I know how stupid it sounds, and I don't know why I did, but I clicked on the link. I guess I was just curious. As soon as I clicked on it, my phone completely froze up. Then the screen went all black, but not the same shade of black as when the power's off, but another shade. I tried pushing the home button and even turning off my phone, but nothing happened at all. After a few minutes of nothing working, I finally pressed the reset button on my phone, and it finally turned off. I started it back up and immediately logged out of my Instagram and changed my password. I also blocked the account that had messaged me. I wasn't taking any chances with the message I had received, and I thought it was most likely someone trying to hack my phone or my Instagram account. Everything seemed normal after that, but later in that day, I got curious. I went back to the message I had received and clicked on the profile that sent it to me. I wanted to know who this was and possibly report the profile. When I did, I saw that the page only had one post. The post was an all-black photo with white letters on it. The letters spelled out my home address. I saw that the post had several comments. The usernames of all the people commenting were just numbers as well, and they all had the same profile picture. They commented things on the post like, "Nice," and "This is going to be fun." I was really confused as to what this thing was, and I reported the page to Instagram. I don't know if that did any good, but when I checked back later about an hour, the post was gone. That night, I was awakened by the sounds of violent bangs coming from both my front and back door. They sounded as if whoever was there was trying to break the door down. My heart started racing immediately. The banging continued for about 30 seconds, and then all at once it just stopped. I remained sitting up in my bed looking around, sweating, and my heart beating extremely fast. I sat there in the same position for literally an hour. I don't know if I was too scared to move or I just didn't know what to do. At last, I finally got up and looked out of all of my windows. I didn't see anybody out there at all. I wasn't able to fall asleep for the rest of the night. The next day, I reported what had happened. It didn't happen again after that, but to this day, the situation really confuses me. I'm not sure if it was some type of group of people that prank houses by knocking loudly in the middle of the night or what, but the whole thing just seems so weird.